Before I get into today's very important lecture, I want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers and viewers and members for supporting my YouTube channel. If the audience is aware, my channel got monetized January 2023, and it would not have been possible without my supporters. So with that being said, let's get down to today's very important lecture. This lecture is going to tie into us. I'm going to present some 7 powerful steps to take if you have a federal student loan. So some steps you need to take under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program if you have a student loan, rather it's a associate's degree, bachelor's, master's, PhD, etc. Pay attention, because I'm going to share with the audience before I get into this very important topic. I'm not just speaking off from what I'm hearing. I'm presenting information based on doors I have gone through. But before I get into this lecture, I want to share that August the 17th of 2023, I was notified by the Department of Education that the remaining balance of my master's degree in the amount of $72,000+ was forgiven. And that was a tremendous feat. When you are forgiven for your school loan, the federal government will send you a letter, a congratulation letter, alerting you that the remaining balance of my master's degree in the amount of $72,000 was zeroed out August the 17th of 2023. That was a tremendous feat. I'm going to share with the world on what I did, the steps that I took to receive this powerful piece of paper in the mail of August the 17th of 2023. First of all, these are just going to be some general steps, but I'm going to encourage, for each listener, first of all, do your own due diligence. But I'm going to present my journey and the steps I took. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program that I participated in takes 10 years of payments and employment with an appropriate approved employer. The loans you're paying on and how you pay them, and the work you do all play a part in determining whether you reach forgiveness. It is important to understand how the program works to avoid pitfalls along the way that could delay forgiveness or even make you ineligible. I'm going to talk about some steps that I took in terms of forgiveness under the Public Student Loan Forgiveness Program to make sure that I was on the right track. And this is powerful information. I returned back to school in my early to mid 40s to get my master's degree, but this is powerful information that a person in their 20s to 30s to 40s to 50s or however old, who, if they got a federal student loan, they need to hear this information. If they recently graduate from college, most likely with federal debt, they need to hear this information. Number one, got to verify employment. The first step is to see if your employment qualifies for the Public Student Loan Forgiveness Program. Only employment with the following types of organizations qualify for Public Student Loan Forgiveness. If you are unsure whether your work for qualifying organizations, you can check with federal student aid. You can ask your employer, they will know. The types of employers are governmental organizations, including volunteer, American Corps, Peace Corps, military, 501c3, not-for-profit organizations such as, again, 501c3. That can be easily found out to determine on whether or not your employer qualifies. That's the number one most important step right there. I'm retiring from state government. Actually, this powerful piece of paper notified me that my loan has been forgiven was really the last piece of paper that I needed to officially retire from out of the workforce. And my actual retirement date would be September the 7th, 2023. I had to stay linked to my qualified employer until I got this letter. Number two, you got to review your loan eligibility. Only certain loans qualify for public student loan forgiveness. If your loans don't qualify, consolidation may make them eligible. So that's something you got to do to delve deep to make sure that your loans qualify. Because I'm just giving you all kind of like a brief overview on the steps. But I'm going to tell a person, you know, the journey I went through. I printed out that paper, that information. I read it. I called Federal Student Aid. I asked questions. I asked questions to Mohela, the service provider. You got to do this. You know, you hear all these people on these YouTube channels talking about loan forgiveness, and they can't understand how to get their loan forgiven because you got to read. You got to read and dive deep this application. I'm here to tell you. I'm just giving you an overview on the steps I took to get my $72,000+ forgiven August 17, 2023. You know, the following loan types are eligible. You know, direct subsidy loans, direct unsubsidized loans, direct plus, direct consolidation loans. Again, this is just a brief overview. You are going to have to dive deep to inquire a little bit more about your specific student loan. And I'm here to tell you. Number 3 pointer. You got to check your repayment plan. Only certain repayment plans qualify for public loan forgiveness. So to get the most benefit from the program, you should switch to an income-driven repayment plan if you're not already on it. I came under the 120 payments of the income-driven repayment plan for public students loan forgiveness. That is the plan that I went under when I did my 120 payments. That was the qualification I needed to meet in order to get my loan forgiven. So to benefit from the public student loan forgiveness, you should consider one of the following types of income-driven repayment plan, which generally base your loan payments on your income, your family size, and your loan debt. You know, there are many different types of income-driven repayment plans. You have the revised pay-as-you-earn. You have the pay-as-you-earn. You have the income-based repayment. You have the income contingent payment. So you just got to take a look at which one of these types would benefit you. But it really don't matter as long as you choose one of them. As long as you choose one of them that's going to benefit you, because in order to set the stage to get in the loan forgiveness program. A lot of people get caught up on, well, which one's the better, this one. Choose one. Choose one based on your income, family size, and loan debt. Simply put and move forward. Because the goal is to make those 120 payments as a criteria to get your federal student loan forgiven. You know, and I'm going to tell you something. The last 3 years under my payment plan, because of the pandemic, 3 consecutive years, the amount of money I had to pay on my school loan per month was $0. And the $0 still qualified for me to get my loan forgiven on August the 17th, 2023, in the remaining balance of $72,000 that was wiped out. And I'm here to tell you. So the last 3 years of payments that I made, they literally sent me a monthly bill of $0. And when I finished out paying those payments and I applied for my loan to be forgiven on August the 17th of this year, I got this powerful piece of paper from Mohela, which is the service provider, notifying me that the remaining bill of $72,000 has been wiped out. And the rest is history. Number 4, confirm your qualifying payments. To receive confirmation that your loans, employment, and payments qualify for public loan forgiveness, you must submit a PSLF form. There's actually a public service loan forgiveness form you must submit. Read the form, fill out the form, and submit the form. Many people don't want to wrap their mind around the part they got to take. You know, this process can vary in some way from person to person based on your family size and income, but the objective at the end of the finish line, that's the commonality right there. The PSLF form is a form both you and your employer must complete for us to verify that your loan payments were eligible and that you made the payments during the periods of qualifying employment. We recommend that you submit the first PSLF form after you are confident you have, number one, qualifying loans, that you work full time for a qualifying employer, and have made some qualifying payments. That process is critical. Once your qualifying employment is approved, we will begin tracking your progress towards completing the 120 qualifying payments. Each time you submit a new PSLF form, all PSLF forms will be reviewed for eligibility under the loan forgiveness program. That particular form has to be submitted every year so they can verify your qualifying employment, and that's how they track that's how they track your payments year after year after year. And it's also they have a way they can track that, where you can go into your account and see where it'll show you have got 50 of the 120 qualifying payments done. And when you begin to see that number rise, 50, 70, 100, I can remember when I was down to the last month of getting qualified before and I'm telling you that time go by fast. I'm telling you, when you begin to see them numbers rise, 10, 20, 50, 80, 120, you're at the finish line right there. Because the 120 months gonna go by anyway. Number 5, once you have filled out the appropriate application to go under the income-driven repayment plan, number 5, then you got to make the qualifying payments based on your income. You must be actively paying on your loans. Like I said, based on my income, the last 3 years, because of the pandemic, my qualifying payment each month was 0 for 3 years. But the 0 still count towards my 120. So to receive loan forgiveness under the PSLF, you must make 120 qualifying payments. I don't care if the qualifying payments is 0 or as high as $100. You must do that. After October 1st, 2007, that's when all of this came into play in terms of with public service loan forgiveness. Under the qualifying repayment plan for the full amount due as shown on your bill. And that's just some of the steps you had to go through, and to make those qualifying payments no later than 15 days after the due date. And I'm here to tell you, this is powerful information. Step number six, which is very important, and a lot of people forget to do, and it messes them up. It throws things off. You must track your payments, and that's easy. And in order to track your qualifying payments every year, you got to submit a new PSLF form annually to keep up to date on tracking your qualifying payments. That's how they keep your account updated. That must be done every year. Because you have to make 120 qualifying monthly payments, it would take at least 10 years for you to become eligible for public student loan forgiveness. We recommend that you submit a new PSLF form annually. This will help you track your progress in the program. Each time we approve qualifying employment, we will update your account of qualifying payments. I can literally remember 10 years ago when I first entered that program to start my 120 qualifying payments. And it feels like yesterday. I can literally remember 10 years ago when I submitted my income-driven repayment plan in my public student loan forgiveness form to enroll in the program in order to get the remaining balance of my master's degree wiped out. And here we are 10 years in the future, and I got my powerful letter saying, after 10 years of making payments, my remaining balance at the end still was $72,000, which was wiped out because they send you a letter to congratulating you for successful completion of getting your public student loan forgiven by the federal government. This is a powerful piece of paper I got August 17, 2023. And I'm here to tell you. So it's very important you got to track your progress. Number 7 pointer. You gotta submit your public student loan forgiveness form for forgiveness. When I met my 120 qualifying payments, because I was going in every month tracking my stuff. And I knew when I hit my 120, they don't automatically forgive your remaining balance of your student loan. You got to go in and you got to submit the actual public student loan forgiveness application to alert them to go in and forgive your loan. That's a separate application. So you gotta, at the very end, when you don't met all of those qualifying payments, the 120, you've been working for that qualified employer, you have made your monthly student loan payment based on your income. It's beneficial to make sure you come under the income-driven repayment plan, which is within loan forgiveness, because the income-driven repayment plan, the purpose of that is to determine on how much money you're going to pay towards your student loan based on your income. Because if you don't come under the income-driven repayment plan, they just may base your monthly school loan on typically some astronomical high amount that you ain't going to be able to afford. So at the end, you're going to submit your PSLF form for forgiveness. Once you have made your 120 payments, you got to submit that form so they can count towards all of your qualifying payments and go in to forgive the remaining balance of your student loan. And once all of that has happened, at the very end, because that can take up to 90 days, because they got to go in and cross-check everything. They got to analyze your account, because you got to understand this was a 10-year journey for Marie Holiday. So they, once I submitted that last application, 90 days in the future, then I finally got the verdict. August the 17th, 2023, a congratulation letter notifying me from Mahila, who is the federal student aid service provider. This is a powerful piece of paper where it congratulated me on telling me that congratulations, the Biden-Harris administration has forgiven the remaining balance of your federal student loan in the amount of over $70,000+. And I could not. It was literally the $72,070.71 was the remaining balance that was forgiven on August the 17th, 2023. This was a 10-year journey, people. This was a 10-year journey. So what that means is now they also alerted me in this powerful letter where, because if I was to go look on my credit report with Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, it would have showed that school loan of $72,000. But what's going to happen now? What Mahela going to do, who is the federal student aid service provider, also is they're going to alert and send documentation to the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and to let them know that that $72,000 has been zeroed out. And what's going to happen is going to reflect on my credit report with Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Now it's going to show 0, 0, 0 versus showing 72,000, 72,000, 72,000 of all of those different credit bureaus. And when that happens, it's going to have a powerful impact on shooting my credit score up so high, it's going to be scary. Because my credit score, and wrap your mind around this one, my credit score was already a little over 900 with the 72,000 on it on my credit report. So now when they remove that bill of $72,000 and it's going to show 0, I'm scared to see how high my credit score is going to shoot with those three major credit bureaus. And also it states in this powerful congratulation letter that due to the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the balance of your loans that were forgiven is not going to be considered taxable income for federal income tax purposes. That's power right there. Because historically, when a person has any kind of debt that has been canceled out, rather it was credit card debt or debt on a mortgage, for whatever reason, if you have a large debt that was canceled out, the federal government would turn around and consider that as taxable income. But because of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, that $72,000+ of student loan debt that was wiped out on August 17, 2023 will not be considered as taxable income according to federal income tax purposes. That is power right there. And also in this powerful letter, they notified me that I'm going to actually end up getting a refund. I'm going to get a refund for 14 payments that I actually overpaid on my federal student loan. So in the very near future, they're going to send me a refund. I don't know how I overpaid by 14 months, but I ain't complaining about it. So they're processing my refund check in the amount of 14 months that I overpaid in the year 2012. And so I'll be receiving that money. Ladies and gentlemen, this is power. These are the steps that I went through, Marie Holiday, to get my federal student loan zeroed out by going under the income-driven repayment plan, making sure I submitted my forms every year, made it my point to dug deep and read all of the information that was applicable to me based on my income and my family size, and etc., and ensuring on the front end that my employer was a qualified employer. And the end result is now I am literally debt-free as I get ready to retire September the 7th, 2023, with 0 school loan, hadn't had a mortgage in years, no credit cards, no personal loan, no car note, no bills, major bills in its totality, all by paying attention to my business and by the grace of God who gave me the skills to be able to pay attention to detail, because this is powerful. This is power right here. That's one of the things I talk about in my powerful book, Awake Financial Freedom, that I share a testimony on how I rose from financial destruction to complete financial freedom. There's an area in this book when I wrote this book where I talked about one of the best decisions I made was enrolling in the federal loan forgiveness program, and I'm here to tell you. It is nothing by the grace of God that I'm in the position where I can get ready to exit up out of this workforce debt-free from real bills, all by the glory of God. I tell anybody, handle your business. I don't care what you're hearing in the news about student loan forgiveness. You need to sit down and you need to gather that information for yourself. And you need to talk to Mahela, who is the service provider, to ask specific questions that is specific to you based on your family size and your income, and to ensure your employer is a qualified employer. Other people can't answer those questions for you. Yeah, the steps are the same. There's going to be commonality in these 7 steps that I mentioned. But, in terms of looking at the income-driven repayment plan, that amount is going to vary from person to person. People got different jobs. You got to make sure your employer qualified, and etc. So share this information. There's so many people who are in default on their school loan, don't know what to do to get themselves out of that situation, don't want to take the time to educate themselves. They rely on, all this misinformation that they're hearing out there in the news. Everybody's situation is different. So share this information, and that's all I have. Simplify, Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.